Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, our dear listeners and viewers. Welcome on the Sauti Plus podcast, where we delve deep into thoughtful, provoking topics that shape our lives and society. I'm your host, Juma Safari, and today we embark on an intriguing exploration of a topic that sparks numerous debates and discussions. Are men still relevant as providers in our current social context? The concept of men as providers has long been ingrained in our cultural fabric, but as social context transformed, it's crucial to examine whether this role still holds the same weight and relevance today. And today, we are here to definitely do the examination. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you on the Sauti Plus podcast. And do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms on Sauti Plus, Twitter, Facebook, Sauti Plus TV. And do not forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and as well as on our SoundCloud. So in the studios today, I'm being joined in by beautiful women and gentlemen ready and eager, very hungry to share with us their experiences and great insights into this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, first things first, introduction, and I'll be starting on my immediate right. We are happy to have you on the studios today. Please introduce yourself to our dear listeners and viewers.
Thank you and good morning to the listeners. Called Jean-Marie Nkurunziza. I work for Sonke Gender Justice and based in South Africa.
We are more than delighted to have you, Jean-Marie.
Thank you.
Hello, beautiful lady. Please introduce yourself to us.
Hello, our listeners. This is Zara here, Nakaung. I work as the Innovations and IT Support Officer.
Oh, Zahra, assalamu alaikum.
Malik.
We are happy to have you today. Please introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, my name is James Tumsime. I work for Richer Hand Uganda.
We are happy to have you, James.
My name is Teminko Stube, and I work for Sonke Gender Justice in Johannesburg.
We are happy to have you today in Uganda and as well as on this amazing podcast. Is it okay if I call you Dube? All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Please introduce yourself to us.
Called Katwesije Edwiga Emily. I work at Richer Hand as an administrative officer.
Wow,
Good
we
to
are
be here.
We are happy to have you, Emily. So, my dear guests, I'm more than delighted to host this amazing conversation. And I'm really looking forward, and our listeners and viewers are really looking forward to listen from each one of you. So, to kickstart with this conversation, I would love to pose a question to James. James, how has the traditional role of men as providers evolved in recent years? And what factors have contributed to these changes?
Thank you, Juma. And it's important for us at this point in time to ponder the relevancy of what we call traditional roles versus the evolving context where we are living. You know, when I grew up, I was told that a man has to provide, a man is the one who goes to work. Indeed, my mother would stay home and my father would go to work. Mm-hmm. And of course, whatever he gets is what we share, and he gives it to us genuinely. My grandfather was a hunter, and he used to go off hunting several days, and he would bring meat home. I think those positions were great positions with all their demands, because then if he went out to hunt for several days and brought meat, everyone would recognize that the man of the house has come. And therefore, it came with a lot of prestige, it came with a lot of respect. And we have been socialized in many ways to think that that is the position. But the realities of the day have also changed significantly. We have beautiful ladies here working with us. They have also left home, though we have left home on this Saturday. So the expectation is that they should take some money home. And perhaps their men are home. They may not even be at work. So the men are now waiting that these beautiful ladies will bring money home.
Definitely.
And these have influences on how, therefore, discussions around respect, discussions around authority in the home are distributed. The issues, the things that predispose, for example, Emily and Zahara here, could be education.
Yeah, yeah.
Because this is a context we are talking about employment with education. But you also know that in the school system, for example, in Uganda, there is a privilege that is already given to the women to be able to make it to the university, for example.
Yeah.
And in the last 5 years, you should note that in Uganda, the percentage of women graduating with their first degrees has surpassed the number of men graduating with their first degrees, actually about 52 to 48, 52% being female, 48 being male.
Oh, wow.
And these have implications with the affirmative action that the government is coming up with. For example, in the Ministry of Gender, you have the women grants. So gradually, it is changing the perspectives of power and inclining it towards women having more power than men. It is also beginning to shape how formal and informal opportunities are tilting towards women than men. And this is a good thing for the country as a whole.
Yeah.
So the real issue of discussion here should be, are the men ready to take on this new evolving society where they are not necessarily primarily being looked at as the providers, but they're also supposed to be in a position where they can receive? And are the women therefore also able to accept the privileges that have come with this transformation, and therefore also be able to be in a provision role? And not to say that this provision role should be taken by one person completely, but should be complementary. So our traditional teaching, the Sengas teaching, the girls going into marriage, the boys from their kojas, should be an evolving context of knowing that you're moving into a relationship where you have to share power, to share prestige, to share privilege, to share responsibilities. And I think this is where we have to be thinking, and it's quite a tough journey for all of us.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with you, James. And for me, like what I see in society today is I'm seeing men neglecting their responsibility as providers. The fact that women can work, they can take care of their kids. Some men have decided to become, I'm sorry to say, to become sperm donors. Like, you may forgive my language. Like jumping from one woman to another. Like, I impregnate her. If she's not cute enough, I mean, like, not satisfying enough according to my needs, I don't know. Like, I would shift to another. The fact that she can take care of her kid, I'd be like, I think that explains why we do have really single mothers out there who are struggling. And I think this is really promoting a radical feminist movement of women who are angry, who are suffering out there, and they don't really have any, they don't want anything to do with men. I mean, that's maybe an impact in the changes, I mean, in the roles of men.
Maybe we could hear it from the other people in other countries.
Definitely. I would love to go to Dube. Before you share with us your opinion, can you first tell us more about Sonke Gender Justice?
Thank you. Sonke Gender Justice was founded in 2006, and we are working throughout Africa. We work with women.
Can you get your mic closer?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Should I start again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah. Sonke Gender Justice was founded in 2006, and we are working throughout Africa. We work with women, men, boys, and girls to achieve a gender-just society and a gender-based free society.
Oh, all right. So can you share with us, we want to take your opinion about the changing role of men as providers in the current social context, where women are being empowered every single day. Maybe like we are almost at the same level.
Yeah. In the recent years, we have seen women taking a leadership role, even in empowering their professional life, and seeing opening up of spaces in the leadership roles within the industries, within government sectors, within in so many ways. and yeah. So yeah, it's just that I'm not really a programming person, but yeah. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
feel free to share.
Okay. Yeah, but basically, I think women should be empowered. We need to move away from patriotic values where we say women should be confined within homes and be dependent on men. We have seen that as a huge risk because some of them, they don't get the opportunities for growth and because of the values that we were brought up on, and therefore we see that they are limiting women, and most of them, they end up being single mothers in the event that the breadwinner decide to leave the relationship, and that has created a huge burden on women. And at the end of the day, they don't have means of survival. And some of them, they end up staying like in relationships just because the main provider has to be a man. So I think there should be a transformative approach in terms of making sure that women and girls are empowered to take up roles in society, to take up leadership in building their careers, and also just awareness on how they can take up opportunities to avoid scenarios where they end up in abusive relationships and then they can't get out of there just because of the financial needs. So I do feel like there is a need for societal kind of awareness so that we can see women growing, women also being independent. And independent, we can also live, collaborative in relationship without, saying we should be exclusive, but we can, still holding the values of family structures because we want to see our children as well growing within those family values. And yeah, but those values that are patriotic, I feel like they do limit women in a certain way, both in the mindset and societally in terms of fitting into the society and so forth. But yeah, we feel like those barriers, they need to be, which is the essence of what we do, to bring that awareness, to bring that transformative, to ensure that everyone get fair and equal opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dubi, for sharing with us those amazing words. Now, I would love to listen from the woman's perspective. So, Emily, given the empowerment that is, all directed to women, like, where does that leave a man? What do you expect of a man? What's his position? You're empowered. So, what about the men?
First of all, men in the Bible, there is a quote, I can't quote it right, but it says that women, we are supposed to be submissive to our husbands. And men are supposed to take care of us. The opposite way. We are supposed to submit to them, for them to take care of us. So it doesn't basically mean that we should be under them, but it's a way of giving them respect, giving them that command in a home that you're the man and I'm submissive to you. So me as a woman, if you're able to take care of me, of course I have to be submissive. But there is a part where men go wrong and they neglect our needs, they neglect us, and they're not able to take up their responsibilities. So obviously, it makes us women not to be submissive to you. So at a point where a man is supposed to provide and he can't provide, and I go out there, work, I provide for myself, of course, that now puts away the other thing. Now in my mind, I be like, oh, wait, I can now provide for myself. Like I can take care of myself. So basically, I think it's two sideways. I think men have to understand that they have to take care of us. So that for us, we are submissive to them.
Oh, wow. Talking about submissiveness of women. I mean, Zara, do you have an opinion you'd love to share with us?
Yeah, okay. Me, from the experience I have, not yet married, but then I've been with my parents. I have friends, but then I think men are now neglecting their roles. Why? I don't know. Maybe they see ladies as they are competitors. I don't get it. So their role now is just giving birth to kids. Then they leave them for the ladies to take care of, and I think it's because of the globalization and the urbanization that is being evolving now, that even the standards of living, they are now a bit expensive, and they feel like they can't afford a loan. So they be like, let my lady help me. But then if the lady accepts to help, then the guy just relaxes, just sits down, as long as the lady can provide. So they just be like, she will handle. She will handle. If she can't handle, I will get another one who will handle. So you're just being reluctant.
Ah, wow. The women in the house today, I mean, they're saying that men shouldn't be reluctant. I mean, so Jean Marie, before I ask you this amazing question, first tell us more about the Generation G project.
Yeah, thank you. The Generation G or Generation Gender,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a program funded by the MOFA, the Foreign Affairs Ministry from Netherlands, and through Ratkas and Sonke Gender Justice. So there is a consortium which is the global consortium led by Sonke Gender Justice, Equimundo, Abad, and Ratkas. And the program has been implemented in 7 countries. So which one beneficiaries: Uganda, South Africa, Rwanda, Morocco, Lebanon, Jordan, and Indonesia. And the program is targeting the young people between the age of 15 to 32. And it's got 3 long outcomes, which is one working with the community, and also other one on policy, but also and community policy, and also yeah, those are 2, yeah, community, and then policy, and also other one for building a civil society movement. Yeah, so and also it's more it's got 5 principles. So like there is a accountability, don't do harm, but also GTA, gender transformative approach, and also a meaningful inclusive youth participation. So that's in most of those 7 countries the program has been implemented there. And we are glad that here in Uganda the program has been implemented by Irahu, Sehad, and FIDA. Yeah, through the coordination of Sonke Gender Justice. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the great work that you're doing. So I would love to ask you a question. You've heard from the ladies. I mean, they've set clear their expectations. They expect you as a man not to be reluctant on their roles, on your role actually, particularly as a provider. You get. So, how does these expectations of men to be providers impact their mental health and overall well-being? Are these societal pressures? Are they pressures coming from these ladies? Is it as a result? Tell us.
Yeah, no, thank you, and thanks for the contribution from other colleagues here. I think, firstly, we need to think and rethink on those expectations, because we've been brought up, or we've been born finding that there is a society expectation on what men supposed to do, on what women supposed to do, or then that has been even impacting negatively to our young boys and young girls. Because we grown up or been raised in this patriarchy society, where we've been told that man is the head of the house.
Yeah.
Then when you start thinking, if man is the head of the house, what does mean? So you think in the situation where a man, there is a woman who doesn't stay with a man, who doesn't have a man, but she's got the children. And then who's the head? Then you go back and think, where in the family where a woman work and a man doesn't work, then when you see we are defending the head, what does that mean? But also, I think as the new generation, we need to go back on the drawing board and say, no, what we found or what we've been hearing from the society, especially from the men, because we talk, I think some people, speak about power. Then you look at the issue around the equality and the equity. You know, when we like, there's over 200 years where men has been ruling or been like told as a head of the house or head of in the society. And I think one of our colleagues said that now ladies goes to school and then being educated.
Yeah.
Even if you go to school, our schools, I think everyone went to school. I'm not sure if it was only like boys were like number one, then the ladies come after. I know in my school there was a lot of ladies. They were number one, number two. They will get even 90%.
Yeah.
And even if you look maybe at the workplace, and we have, as we say, we have our sisters here. They are doing a fantastic job, and some of the job that they are doing, there is a lot of men they can't do it.
Yeah.
So then, what does mean in our society? So and we speak around the issue around women empowerment, but then this the theory of saying, okay, women empowerment until when? Because women be empowered and let's give them the responsibility. So and when we say that men has run away from the responsibility, I think within the responsibility in the household, there's no competition.
Yeah.
So the what men should do, the same women should do that.
Yeah.
So then it's only we look at the issue around the equality and equity, where now we're saying, okay, men goes to school, boys, if girls go to school and the men go to school, and then we have same opportunity of work, but then we still having that balance of inequality.
Yeah.
So when you find that, even if you are a director or you head as a female, you have a high position somewhere. But then they will see like some people maybe on the board who are men's, and then they will see like telling you. And you look even maybe some countries like in Tanzania, we have a female president. We had in Liberia, we had a female president. Even in Malawi. But then how the men respect that female who's a president, who's a leader. But then when sometimes I think if the lady goes back her home and then she have a family, she has a husband, does she have to run to the kitchen and cook? But then if maybe I know that like my partner is a president, if myself as a man go to the kitchen and cook, doesn't gonna make me not be a man or not be a support. So sometimes we say this support, and there's no support in the house or support, because whatever you're doing in the household or in the society, it's help you as a man, it's help as a female. But then we have to measure what kind like the information or the education we got when we were still young. So I think from the elders, my sister days brought the scripture from the Bible. But then I think sometimes when we take this connotation from the Bible, from the Quran, there is a lot of. But then when we go back, we say, okay, those people who doesn't read the Bible, doesn't believe. So what kind of education we have to bring up? Because it's, we grown up in a patriarchy society and the system. So that I think that's why they say, okay, women have to be submissive. But why men can't be submissive? I think submission, it's have to be a compromise, like where the two people understand each other and support, but then looking forward to the future generation.
Thank you so much, Jean-Marie, for sharing with us. Our dear listeners and viewers, you are watching Sauti Plus TV, and we are on the Sauti Plus podcast discussing an amazing topic, like are men still relevant as providers in our current social context? To be part of this conversation, you can always hit us up on our social media platforms on Sauti Plus Twitter, on Facebook, Sauti Plus TV. Also, do not forget to also drop into our comment sections on our YouTube channel, and also share with us what opinions you have about this topic. So right about now, we shall take a short break, and we shall be right back after the break. Thank you.
What fuels your ambition? What drives you to succeed? Whatever the reason is, you need a companion with you to tell you that your dreams are valid, to fuel your passion and inspire you to learn every single day. Introducing the new age Sauti Plus TV, a fresh, easily accessible, and content-packed platform for young people. A companion like no other to give you accurate and reliable information and guide you in making the right choices and take the right direction. A companion to open you to a Pan-African cinematic experience to help make sense of the world around you. A mobile companion that goes easy on your wallet and sticks with you all the way. Sauti Plus TV, your number one source for shows that matter, anywhere, anytime. Download the Sauti Plus app on the App Store and Google Play Store, or head to www.sautiplus.org.
Today is a very great day for all of us. And also today is a day that we celebrate young women and girls in the whole world.
This morning, our subject is bravery, but specifically today, focusing on women and girls. For those of you who have been around, you've seen us go into lockdown, and you've seen the so many bad stories that have come after the lockdown of how women and girls have been traumatized, of how injustices have been pounced on them. But those women and girls have not declared defeat.
Bravery is about you standing up for what you want and chasing exactly what your goals should be.
There is so much power we have as girls because we are preparing to be women of tomorrow. If I tell each and every girl here that drugs are bad, I know how bad they are. I know how much the choice you're gonna make is gonna cost you tomorrow.
When we lack the guidance, sometimes our dreams are so shallow. I had a dream of sitting in a car. When I sat in the car, I realized the dream was bigger than just sitting in the car.
And I want to tell you young ladies here today, the brave girls here today, you can be something. Don't allow yourself to be labeled. Don't allow yourself to be boxed in. You can be anything that you want to be.
An impossible journey is the one that you never start. But once you start a journey, it is very possible. So it is start where you are. It doesn't matter whether you're young. It doesn't matter whether you don't have the finances. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, start where you are. So long as the idea pops up, just start.
I really believe that being brave is being inclusive. And it's really hard sometimes, and it's really challenging.
This event shows me that we're just at the beginning. But there's so much that we can do. And if this is the beginning, I can't imagine what the middle and the end will look like.
But also would love to thank the brave women and girls that have stood over time to be examples or to be exemplary to our community.
When the world looks at you, they think you're too young, not wise enough, nor strong enough to fathom the complexities the world brings, to break barriers and be the change the world seeks. But when I look at you, I see much, much, much more than that. I see strength and tenacity, boldness in your creativity, beauty in your diversity. Like a phoenix, you rise above every adversity. The world's not ready for what you've got in you.
I see the sun rising upon a new day, shining a light on a new wave of champions, brave enough to find a new way. I see you with a vision of an eagle
and a heart for your people.
I see you become a team that sets out to pursue a dream.
With each and every stride you make, I see your golden heart.
Selflessly giving to each cause you take, I see your hand.
Selflessly reaching out, hoping the world sees the change you make. I see Amukasa from Masaka,
Akorobe from Kotido,
Amukoda from Palisa,
Amutuzo from Kisoro,
Anabimanya from Katereza, fighting against all odds for the rights of his generation, giving young people hope to live another day,
educating young people to make the right choices.
I see a pioneer of a new age, rewriting history on a new page,
birthing a new generation, beaming with ideas, reconstructing the 7 spheres of life.
Oh, I see life like never before. I see you.
Ye nkulaba ndaba omuvubuka envumulo, omuvubuka eyeefubako okulwanyisa empologoma y'obwavu ng'ate naki
nalo
kulaba
totudde nkulaba. I see you pushing boundaries with each and every stride you make.
I see you in a farm, a school, a hospital, on stage.
I see you building your nation brick by brick. I see you bring your uniqueness to each and every fabric you weave.
I see you thinking and working your magic, moving the world with
every click you make, giving only the best you've got, engraving your name on the souls you touch each and every single day. Oh, I see you. Yes, you. In you, I see an icon.
Welcome back, our dear listeners and viewers. Welcome back from that short break. As of now, we are getting into our second half of the podcast. And do not forget to share your opinions on our social media platforms. Please hit that comment section. Share with us what you think about this amazing topic. Share your opinions. You can actually even disagree with any of our speakers today. And do not forget always to check us out on our SoundCloud, where all these podcasts are always posted, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. So to kickstart this conversation, the second half of this conversation, I would love to pose a question to James. Today, we are here to break the myth, break the silence, and talk about these issues. These issues are always in secrecy, and they are always hidden in silence. There is a boy, a man out there who's really questioning his position, James. He doesn't understand what provision is all about. We are talking about men as providers. What do you perceive of provision as a man?
Yeah, thank you very much, Juma. And I think the context has been built from the other presenters on how equality and equity should be established in our society between the men and women in a home. And that is important because the concept of provision has certain standards that are almost unchanging. I think as a man, beyond looking at the material provision, there are issues of providing time, being available, and in a natural good relationship, that should be a very important factor of provision.
Yeah.
There are issues of providing companionship, talking about things, understanding what's happening in your partner's life or in your friend's life. That's very important. You're providing your life knowledge, your life experience with that person. There are issues of the material sharing and being accountable to one another. So, for example, I mean, if you have a partner at home, you shouldn't come to reach a hand here and eat and feel good and then go back home and say, I've eaten, I'm satisfied. And then on the other end, you don't know if your other partner has had what to eat or not. So those are basic things that you should be talking about and understanding how far each of you can contribute. You know, these days there is the saying of what do you bring to the table. I mean, the table is a big table. There are many things that can fit on the table. I mean, you don't only come to the table to want. You can whatever you have, because what runs a basic relationship, there are many basic things. You know, you may not have. I have interacted with a Muslim couple where the man was not working and the woman was working, but you know, you call it the gigs. In the gig, this guy would do. He had taken care for the last so many years of their marriage. He always made sure that his wife's hair is done. Even when everything was not available, he would get money to make sure that his wife's hair is done. On the other hand, the wife understood that my husband doesn't actually work. She would pay the school fees, buy the food, and practically step in on all the other major roles in the home. But the man was always there to make sure that if she wants to go somewhere, they're together. Her hair is always done at his bill. So there were those linkages which made the woman secure and have the feeling, this man does not have the money that I need to be me, but this man loves me and he's with me. And these were expressed. He would pick her from work. You know, they would go together to visit the children. They would be in the house together doing the chores. These were all elements that were answered despite the absence of the big wallet. So the expression of provision sometimes is derogated by thinking that provision is money. I have been working for the last 17 years. I have not made enough money to make my wife happy. Some people are not even working.
Surely.
And they want to also be at the same level of provision. So if your partner is not looking at all the facts that constitute you to make you a complete person, then I think provision will be misunderstood. And for me, that is wrong. Thank you.
Well, thank you, James, for that insightful moment you've shared with us on the definition of provision as a man. So, Emily, as a woman, what do you perceive of a man as a provider?
Man as a provider. Well, first of all, it has to be wealth.
I want you to define that provision. What do we mean when you talk about provision?
Yeah, when I talk about provision, I mean the security in terms of money. Because basically, if a man doesn't provide in terms of money, it doesn't make you a man enough. And that is what actually leads women to go jumping from one man to another man. Because we have so many needs. We have nails, we have hair, we have clothes. We have to look nice for you. So if you do not provide money-wise, you're not a providing man.
Oh, man.
Sexual satisfaction.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you're not really that good in bed, a woman will always yearn to get good sex from any other man. So that is also, if a man doesn't provide good sex, then that doesn't make you a good provider.
No-go zone.
Yes, no-go zone. There is love, care. I would put love and care, because women, we are so sensitive. We love to be loved. We love to be cared for. So all the three of those, I can define. If a man has all the three of those, then that's a providing man.
Wow. So as precise as she has been, for her, she expects a man to provide good sex, have the paper, and show her love and care. And I think with love and care is also another topic of discussion, because also that has has an entire session, to define what love and care is. So, Zara, for you, what do you call provision?
From a man's side, I would say provision is like commitment on everything you promise in a relationship. If you promise to love me, then me after giving birth, you start showing me your bad characters, then you're not providing what you promised. So it's commitment and love. You have to love me, and I feel like, oh God, like I can't get time to think about other men. I'm only thinking about you. That's provision. And also appreciation. Appreciation must come from both sides. The lady must appreciate the guys, and the guy should appreciate the ladies. And I think one of the reasons why men are now neglecting their responsibilities is they are not being appreciated. We have some ladies, even if a guy provides like everything, she will still not appreciate. Sometimes I be coming on borders here, then I see especially border guys suffering on the roads. I be like, these guys suffer to put everything on the table. So I feel like they should be appreciated.
Man should be appreciated.
So if he's providing everything, let us ladies provide at least appreciation to them.
So if you're a man out there and you're providing, Emily said, a man, you need to provide money. She has a lot of needs. I mean, you need to give her good sex. If you're not doing that, to her it's not provision. And I think for Zahara craves love and respect. Then in return, women should appreciate the provision. I think I got that right. So, Dube, I'm going to ask this question to each one of us. For you, what do you perceive of provision as a man? When a woman tells you, provide, what comes into your mind?
Thank you for the question. To me, basically, I think provision relates being able to support your family as a man. And by that, we mean that all the family needs should be provided, and that could be in monetary terms. But also in other aspects, we have realized that money is not the answer to everything.
Yeah.
There's an aspect of being available to your family, which also matters. You can be busy finding money out there, and then at the end of the day, you're not available to family. So that in its sense, you're creating a gap, and therefore it may constitute to and providing, because you're not providing your time. So your time and being there for, emotional support to your partner, and so I think those are key critical things that a man should be able to do for him to be considered as a provider. And I often have seen a lot of men not playing their role in families and in supporting children in the event that there is a separation. And I do encourage those men out there to be responsible enough and be providers to and take responsibilities actually for their actions and be there for the kids. The kids will still need them even if they are still not together as with the women, but we have to be there for our kids. So that is one point that I really want to emphasize. The kids need our support as men. They need the fatherly figures, and therefore even whatever happens in relationships, but at the end of the day, we must be able to provide for our kids.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Dube. And one thing, like growing up as a boy, my dad used to emphasize one thing: be a responsible man. Any decision you make, anything you do, be responsible for the consequences and stand boldly and strong. Face them head on. Be responsible. Every time I had conversation with you, he would be like, hold yourself responsible. Even in an argument, maybe you get mad and you go to him, Dad, this has happened. You always be like, why did you allow it to happen? Why did you, in the first place, why did you get into that argument? If they boxed you, it would be like, go back and you can be like, go and box him back if at all you feel like he's in the wrong. You understand? Like, men should be responsible for anything. Solve your issues. If you feel like going back and giving that blow, go and do it. If you feel like that's how you can achieve justice. But anyway, thank you so much, Dubi, for sharing with us. And today I had a conversation with James. I was really caught in life. Like there is a dilemma I was in. But when James was speaking to me, I felt like I wished my dad was the one telling me all what he was telling me. Like men's presence to their family, to their women, to their children, I mean, is very, very crucial. Because what he has told me, I think I'll benefit from it for 10 years to come. And James, thank you so much for sharing with me giving me that amazing advice. So I would love to lastly pose this question to Jean-Marie. For you, what do you perceive as provision?
Thank you. I think listening from the different presenters, and I found that I think everyone, or mostly, we might be having different understanding.
Yeah.
And we have different opinion. But I think for me, it's not about money. I think, as Tube said.
Yeah.
And it's not about good sex.
Yeah.
Because it might even happen that men want, it can be good and the woman is not good. But then that doesn't mean anything. In relationship, I think, as my sister here said, care, love, and respect, that's very important.
Yeah.
Because, and also I think the example she gave as a border man who's like riding the border looking for money and under the rain and get home and see there's no appreciation. But then I think the men and the women, both of them supposed to appreciate each other. But then also the scenario, I think, what does mean if I, as a man, have a lot of money and you don't know even where does this money come from? Maybe I'm getting this money because I'm doing some scam somewhere or I'm robbing people, then I'll provide. I give you I'll give you the money because you thought, okay, the money that I'm giving you is kind of providing. But then also you look the issues in our society where we have a lot of young girls, a lot of young boys who've been getting involved in some sexual activities because they need to get money. They will go, then they provide, they do, there is like the issue around the sugar daddy, sugar mummies, it's happening in our society. But then what does promote? And then to promote mostly abuse, it's promote violence. But we think that, okay, I have to do this because I'm under pressure, I need to provide. But that's not really the meaning of providing. And you look even like some men, you find yourself, you're here in Kampala, maybe your family is in Bushenyi or somewhere in Kapchuro. Then you are here, you come to Kampala to look for a job, you left your partner in that rural area, and then if you get money, you send small money, but then you might even not getting money for transportation to go there and look after them, because what the family need is not only about money. I think what Dube say, like there is this, the visibility being there, being together, support. Even, sometimes I think some of us, you grown up in a family where you seen your father maybe after 5 years or 3 years as a young boy or as a young girl. What does mean to the family? Because this man will tell you that, no, I have to travel so far so I can go and look for the money. But then you find that the children, they don't need only the money. Maybe only just maybe the small special needs. If there is food on the table, but also the father or the man to be present and have a conversation with the kids, but also the engagement. Because I think, as I said earlier, the system we brought up, the patriarchy system, where there is this division, where there is the allocation of the need from the female, from the men, then it's brought a problem, because most will say, no, if a man doesn't give money, he's not a provider. But that's not really, the money is not a big need. I think the need is the care. If you care about your family, if you care about your partner, if you're involved, then that's important.
Thank you so much, Jean Marie. What I get from Jean Marie is love, care, and respect are very crucial. Are very crucial. It does not only mean that provision does not only mean that you need to give money. Money, I think, is a secondary factor, but primarily love, respect, and care is what we all need. James, I would love to take your parting shot. We are running out of time, and I would love to ask you to tell that gentleman, to tell that boy who's listening in to this conversation, give them a message. Tell them, I mean,
I wish you asked me to tell the message to that girl.
to that. Anyway, you can tell
that
to
it's
both,
okay.
yeah. So-
And I think I've said, and Jean Marie has really just said it all, and Dube here. You know, there is no one single person who can provide for everything the other person needs.
Yeah.
That's not possible. So one is that the piece of being provided for comes from within, comes from what you expect from the start.
Yeah.
You see, if you're out there hoping that some Ugandan is going to come and give you their money, and then from there you'll say they have provided, that's already a wrong starting point. You know, providing, giving is normally in relationships, it's a give and take affair. If there is this table and you're bringing something to the table, we shall share what's on the table. If you're bringing love, respect, and care to the table, we shall share that for the starters. If the money is there, we shall share the money. So whatever you want to get, be willing to provide.
Yeah,
That's a
sure.
basic starting point for every mutual understanding of people. For whatever you want to pull out, be willing to push in. And for the young men out there who are really coming to terms with adult life and what relationships should look like, be prepared to be the best of what you can be yourself. And don't look at yourself thinking that you're incompetent because you can't provide money. Look at yourself as a competent person. Whatever else you can provide should be one to satisfy the inner you, the inner man in you, and you'll attract the right people to yourself who see what is good about you. And then you can have the discussion around everything else. Because if you begin from the point of what I can provide to start a good relationship, that's already a wrong starting point. Be good yourself. The good will come to you. Be selfish at making yourself a better person. Good people will naturally come to you.
Wow. Thank you, James, for those powerful parting shots. And I hope our dear listeners, you really learned from this. Dube, can I please take your parting shots?
My final message to the listeners out there, particularly to men, I say, let's be a responsible men and let's create a society that is just particularly to our kids, to families, and let's embroad family values and be supportive to family and be available all the time. And to women out there, also, it is your duty to create a home. In our culture, we say a home is women. So they have their role also to create a conducive environment for men to be providers, to be responsible men. And it's not only one-sided thing, but we all have to bring something to the table. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dube. I would love to listen from Emily Zara. Can I? What do you have to tell the world out there?
To the men?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me start with the boys who are not yet in families. They don't have families. They are not in relationships. They should look up to some role models, people who are thriving with their family, with their families. But then those who are planning to have families, like, love each other, understand each other, be prepared to support everyone in the family, know each one's weakness, and develop strategies how to support each other. pray together. Yeah, that's all. Then the ladies, let's appreciate the small things these guys bring on the table. They suffer a lot.
Thank you so much, Zara, for the powerful words. Jean Marie, to listen from you.
Uh, no, firstly, I think thanks for this conversation. It's very important, especially to our society and the young boys and the young girls who are listening to this show. Because there is a lot of issues or information we get from the streets, from from our peers or their peers. But then I think they need to go back and see, no, even like for parents especially, and when we are addressing these issues of providing, the information that we've been told as a young boy, as a young girl, how the young boy is supposed to behave and how the young woman or female is supposed to behave. And that has been mostly provoking violence in our society, where you find that even this kind of relationship we are talking about in the household, where you find the men and the women, they always fight because there is, you are not providing for this, you are not doing this, you are not doing this, instead of understanding each other and sit and have a conversation. And mostly I think communication has been a challenge in some of the families. When the family are not communicating clearly, then they might not raise the children as it's supposed to be. So if for the men, for the boys who are listening, making sure that you receive or you provide care, because there is some of the if there is no care, if you can't care for someone, you never care for yourself.
Definitely.
Because what you might think that I have everything, but you don't care, But then at the end of the day, it's becoming a problem or issue. So for the young girls and the young boys who are listening to us, be you, be a good role model, and be a person that tomorrow you want to someone who say, no, this is a person, this is a human. Then you become a change for the community, to the society. And then where someone will see, say, no, I want this is my reflector as a mirror, because we need to get people in the day who can say, no, these are good role model as a young person, as a champion to the community. Yeah, so that's what I can say to the young girls, to the young female, but also communicate with their parents, and also even for themselves to question their parents, because if my son or my daughter doesn't question me, then it might one day affect her or affect him, because of you go to school, they'll tell you this, you go to your grandparent in the village, they'll tell you this. But then let's allow our young boys or young girls to question the society norms that we find, or the culture issues, for them to understand better and to become a good children of this society. Thank you.
Oh, how blessed we are to learn from you, Jean Marie. We are happy to have you. I mean, this has been so insightful. Emily, lastly, please share with our dear viewers and listeners.
Okay, my message to the young boys out there, first of all, it has to start with the family. It starts with the father himself. I mean, the way the father acts in a family is basically how this young boy will perceive how a family should be. So to the fathers out there, I get you to nurture these young boys, help them so that they start taking up responsibilities from their right young age, because this helps them a lot. Because sometimes the boyfriends we have right now treat us the way they treat us because they saw their father treating their mother just that way. So it starts from the father to nurture the son. To my ladies out there, you can make any man provide for you. It just depends on how you hold him. First of all, you have to be patient with him, because it's not like all the time that man will be there for you. You have to compliment him sometimes, tell him he's cute, talk to him, be his friend. When you be close to someone, it's so easy for them to open up to you. you can speak his love language. Love language includes physical touch. So when you speak to someone with their love language, it creates connection. And when someone gets connected to you, I mean, if you ask for anything, then it's already. And say thank you also. It's so good to appreciate men, because when they're appreciated, they actually feel nice. And it feels good. Everyone feels good when they're appreciated. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Emily. And thank you very much. Thanks goes to you, our dear guests. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for sacrificing your amazing time. I mean, your precious time to be here with us and to share with young people. And to our dear viewers and listeners out there, we have come to the climax of our podcast. And do not forget to subscribe to our SoundCloud and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch this amazing and insightful podcast. Until we catch up next time, I've been your host, Juma Safari, and special thanks goes to our productions team, Ian and Mahad. Thanks for the great job that you've done, as well as Travis. Guys, until we catch up next time, ciao.